Are you an approval addict? In other words, are you addicted to the approval of other people? Do the opinions of other people have a significant impact on your ability to perform and feel fulfilled and feel happy? If so, don't feel bad because you're in the majority. The studies show that on a scale of 1 to 7, 7 being a severe addiction to approval and 1 being the least addiction to approval, most Americans and most people worldwide score a 7 out of a 7. I did a whole speaking tour about this in 2017. I did 40 cities around the U.S. and Canada, and we had a lot of attendance just because this is something most people deal with. I'm sure that as a little kid, before I started playing tennis, I probably dealt with approval addiction. And when I started getting into the limelight a little bit as a 6, 7, 8-year-old kid with tennis, started talking to the press, I learned very quickly from my coaches not to be addicted to approval, because when you're winning, it's great. When you're losing, everyone knows why you're losing and what you should do to fix it and wants to give you their opinion. And I was 8, 9, 10 years old when that started to happen. And my coaches said, look, you've got to let this go. You can't let what other people think, say about you impact your game. You'll go crazy and you'll end up quitting. So I had that lesson really early, and it wasn't that easy to overcome. But I think at some level, at some point, pretty young, at a pretty young age, I learned to overcome the addiction to the approval of other people, because I had to keep going as a tennis player, being criticized on a regular basis. And it's not that I think when you overcome the addiction that you don't care what people think. I mean, I care what people think. I just don't care very much. Certain people I do, but just a few people, not too many. There's a handful. And the rest of them, I care. But at the end of the day, what I was taught by my sports coaches in tennis was, and sports psychologists as well, psychologists over the years as well, is that even when people express an opposing idea or they criticize you, they're not spending much time thinking about you or what you're doing or what they're criticizing you for doing. They're worried about themselves, as we all are, and probably should be. And so they're not spending as much time thinking about us as we think they are. So the way you overcome approval addiction, I think, is to get in objective reality, which says people are not really spending much. They might criticize you, but they're not spending more than a few seconds or at most a few minutes thinking about what we're doing or not doing, or if we're right or wrong, or whatever it is. So you start talking to yourself like that, and sort of talking yourself into objective reality. And this approval addiction might not go away completely, but it sure is diminished over time. Give it a try. See what you think.